Authorities arrested suspects in an airline gun trafficking operation, and Arise News correspondent Shahan Ramkisson joins us with more on this story. Shahan?
Well, Debbie, it took just 2 men to smuggle more than 120 weapons on 20 flights. One, a current Delta Airline employee, the other, a former worker who helped him. Delta Airlines was being used to fly passengers, their luggage, and firearms. And it happened for weeks before anyone caught on. It took just one baggage handler to help 3 others bypass tough security measures.
On the ground here, about 20 more minutes.
Police accuse Eugene Harvey of helping another suspect to board a flight with 18 guns and ammunition. So, just how did he move weapons from Atlanta's Hartsfield-Jackson Airport to JFK? Investigators say Harvey used his security clearance to enter Delta's employees' parking lot and then the secure area of the airport. Officials say workers entering this area are not subjected to screenings. Harvey apparently then used a restroom to hand over the weapons to his accomplices. In total, 4 men have been charged with smuggling over 120 firearms. Now, the smuggling took place over 7 months. Delta Airlines has, of course, fired Eugene Harvey. Debbie?
Thank you very much. We turn now to Jeff Price. He is an aviation security expert and the owner of Leading Edge Strategies, and he joins us from Denver, Colorado. Hi, Jeff. Nice to meet you.
Thank you, Debbie. You too.
I think I'm just a little bit shocked that part of the reason this was able to happen was that this baggage handler's friend could come in through an employee entrance where there was no security screening. Is that typical? Is this a breach, if you will, in security measures that should have been there that weren't used, or some sort of loophole in the procedure?
It's really a violation of the authorized procedure. One of the things that everybody sees as a passenger is the front door to aviation security, which is the screening checkpoint. What most everybody forgets about is there's also a back door. There's a back of that house where all the employees come to work. Now, they do see some employees come through the checkpoint. There's a system in place to decide which employees go through the checkpoint and which do not. The ones that do not are cleared through a background check and are given an access badge to those security areas.
This just seems so incredible. How often does this kind of thing happen? I don't mean necessarily with guns, but with improper behavior because of this lapse in security.
It probably goes on more often than you'd like to think. Smuggling drugs, smuggling weapons, smuggling all sorts of things, money laundering. Low levels of criminal activity are ongoing in aviation, just as they are in any other aspect of society. And it's a level of a security risk in our industry that we understand that sometimes has been exploited to either hijack planes or bomb planes. But the vast majority of people conducting this type of activity, it's a pretty big jump for them to go from smuggling drugs and guns to actually mass murder and blowing up planes. So it's a hole in the system that's been there for a long time, but it's a hole that is monitored by other layers.
You do suspect that this might then close this hole?
I don't think it will. I think what will happen is airports and airport police agencies will have higher levels of vigilance over these types of activities, because if you were to start screening hundreds of thousands of aviation workers throughout the United States, you're going to have to hire tens of thousands more TSA employees, get more equipment, build more screening checkpoints, and really redesign the way airports in the United States are laid out to accommodate that. So I don't see this changing that.
Oh, you're making me so nervous. I'm just wondering, how big a chill did this send up your spine? I mean, it's bad enough that loaded guns made it onto the plane. They could have been smuggling something far worse for the safety of that entire plane, as well as anybody else in the path of that plane.
Exactly, and I think there's security layers in place that did catch this particular act. There's other layers that have caught other types of similar acts. I just think that it would cost way too much to screen everybody, and we have to allow a level of trust in the system to a certain degree, or otherwise the system just doesn't function.
And tell me, how surprised, well, I imagine you're not surprised based on a couple of things you've already said, but you have trained many, many hundreds of TSA officers. So what's your reaction to this, and what's the best way to address it?
Well, this one gets addressed at the back of the house. I can't say it's outside the purview of TSA, because everything in transportation security is really their purview. But airport aviation employee security, that's really at the airport operator level. That's local policing, local airport operator, local credentialing. And those are the areas to look to strengthen in those areas. A lot of anti-crime methods can be applied in airport policing that can reduce these types of activities or at least keep good tabs on them.
All right, Jeff Price, good to talk to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Debbie.